Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Love and Light that is Unity of Lawrence on Zoom. I may have started too soon. Let's try it again. Welcome, everyone, to the Love and Light that is Unity of Lawrence Zoom. So grateful you are all here today. Can you believe that it's already the last Sunday of November? As you know, in Unity, we begin everything with prayer. Let's join our prayer chaplain, Karen, as we will begin our service by opening to that divine presence that we know is within us.
Good morning, divine beings. Let's just take a big breath in and release. And do that again because it feels so good. And we close our eyes to the outer world. And we know in our hearts that is the center of our being. And there love flows 24/7. And we are a part of that love. We are the flow in that love. And we are the love. And we've gathered together to support one another, to love one another, and to lift a light into this world. It may be a crazy world, but we know in our hearts that love is the center. And we breathe in again and we release. And we know that together we make this world a better place. For this we give thanks, for so it is. Amen.
Amen. Please join Holly in singing "There Is Only Love" by Michael Gott and Karen Drucker.
Good morning and welcome everyone to Unity. Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We sleep in dreams both deep and bright, sailing through the velvet night, refreshing the soul to the Spirit's delight, living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living in the heart of God.
Thank you, Holly. Please affirm with me Unity's founding principle. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the source of all good. And now our Unity of Lawrence vision. United in divine love and joy, we celebrate a peaceful and abundant world for all. And finally, our UOL mission. We are a thriving spiritual community, sharing love, building bridges, and inspiring transformation. Kelley Hunt is a singer, songwriter, recording artist, speaker, and workshop facilitator based in Lawrence, Kansas. She is currently at work on her 7th album, which is expected to street the first half of 2021. Welcome, Kelley. We can't hear you.
How about that? Can you hear me okay there? Yes? Okay. Well, I'm hoping that you can. So good morning. Happy to be home with my Unity of Lawrence family on this first Sunday of Advent. This is a special day for a lot of folks, and the word Advent means arrival or coming. And the talk today is love in action. And as we work our way toward the Christmas day of Christmas and arrive at our own consciousness, the Christ consciousness within, and the birth of that, we have faith and hope that it is not only on its way, but already there. Usually there is a beautiful candle to light. Sometimes it's blue, sometimes it's purple. The first Sunday of Advent is about faith or hope. So I have faith that all will be well today and from this point on. So here we go. It's one thing to understand spiritual principles and teaching, but it is quite another to put them into practice. What does that look like, and how can we put love in action in our own lives and help ourselves arrive and understand that the Christ consciousness lives within ourselves? Rumi says, if everything around you seems dark, look again. You may be the light. So I'd like to begin this morning with an opening story directly from Congressman John Lewis, who passed not long ago. And I think this is one of the best illustrations of love in action that I've ever heard about or read. And I wanted to share that with you this morning. And he says, about 15 of us children were outside my Aunt Seneva's house, playing in her dirt yard. The sky began clouding over, the wind started picking up, lightning flashed far off in the distance, and suddenly I wasn't thinking about playing anymore. I was terrified. Aunt Seneva was the only adult around, and as the sky blackened and the wind grew stronger, she herded us all inside. Her house was not the biggest place around, and it seemed even smaller, with so many children squeezed inside, small and surprisingly quiet. All of the shouting and laughter that had been going on earlier outside had stopped. The wind was howling now, and the house was starting to shake. We were scared. Even Aunt Seneva was scared, and then it got worse. And now the house was beginning to sway. Can you imagine that? The wood plank flooring beneath us began to bend. And then a corner of the room started lifting up. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. None of us could. This storm was actually pulling the house toward the sky, with us inside it. And that was when Aunt Stenova told us to clasp hands. Line up and hold hands, she said, and we did as we were told. And then she had us walk as a group toward the corner of the room that was rising. From the kitchen to the front of the house we walked, the wind screaming outside, sheets of rain beating down on the tin roof. I can only imagine what that sounded like. And then we walked back in the other direction as another end of the house began to lift. And so it went back and forth, 15 children walking with the wind, holding that trembling house down with the weight of our small bodies. More than half a century has passed since that day, and it has struck me more than once over these many years that our society is not unlike the children in that house, rocked again and again by the winds of one storm or another, the walls around us seeming at times as if they might fly apart. It seemed that way in the 1960s, at the height of the civil rights movement, when America itself felt as if it might burst at the seams. So much tension, so many storms. But the people of conscience never left the house. They never ran away. They stayed, they came together, and they did the best they could, clasping hands and moving toward the corner of the house that was the weakest. And then another corner would lift, and we would go there. And eventually, inevitably, the storm would settle and the house would stand. But we knew another storm would come and we would have to do it all over again. And we did. And we still do. All of us, you and I, children holding hands, walking with the wind. Now, I don't know about you, but I've never heard a story that illustrates love in action more than that one. Holding hands. And I think the key to this is love in action has to do with taking care of ourselves, but more importantly, it has to do with taking action to involve others, to clasp their hands, to see where that floor is rising, to see where that weakness is coming up, and go directly to that and address it. And it's one thing to say, well, I want to be love in action and love is everything and all these phrases that we say to ourselves. But here's the difference. We do something. We need to do something. And I ask you, what have you experienced as love in action from others? And what did that look like for you? And how can we walk with the wind and help others? I want you to just think about that for a minute. Think of whatever example comes to mind. I know there are examples in each and every one of our lives. Love is a verb. Love is many things. But in this instance, love is action. It is a verb. I want to share something with you that happened to me, I don't know, this last week or two. Someone had sent me this beautiful card, and it says on the front, "Let love shine." And the beautiful thing is, I don't know who sent this. And this was sent to me anonymously. Someone thought about saying some things to me, but instead of just thinking it to themselves, they took action. And they have no idea how much this meant to me. They have no idea how perfect the timing was. How could they? But they trusted themselves enough to go ahead and take that step. And so I received this beautiful card, and I looked on the envelope and I said, well, who's this from? There was no return address. And you know that stamp that you see that tells you the city it came from? That was smeared. I couldn't even read that. I was like, well, okay, so I'll open this up and then I'll see who signed it and then I'll know, and that'll be that. Well, I opened it up, and here's what it says. Dear Kelley, and I want you to imagine that this is being read to you, okay? You are such a blessing to the world. Your message of love is healing people's hearts and lifting consciousness. I want you to take that in for yourself, you. Wherever you go, love and hope follow. Please consider this a message from the universe, reminding you that you matter and thanking you for sincerely sharing your heart. You are a gift. Nobody signs it. And at first I thought, okay, I'm going to look at this handwriting. I'm going to figure out who this is. But you know what? I couldn't. And then I realized it wasn't mine to do that. This was perfect timing for me. And sometimes just a small thing, like telling somebody, I appreciate you. I love you. You are a blessing. Just that completely changed the complexion of my whole day. Helped me think in another way. Helped me take that in and was able to give that to others. That's love in action, you guys. Simple. Sometimes love in action does mean literally physically holding down the house. Sometimes it means walking across a bridge and being attacked while you choose to be nonviolent. But sometimes it just means writing a note to somebody and going ahead and sending it to them. And when the suffering of others in the world weighs upon us, we remember what Clarissa Pinkola Estes wrote. She says, "My friends, do not lose heart. We were made for these times. Ours is not the task of fixing the entire world all at once, but of stretching out to mend the part of the world that is within our reach. Any small, calm thing that one soul can do to help another soul, to assist some portion of this poor suffering world, will help immensely. It is not given to us to know which acts or by whom will cause the critical mass to tip toward the enduring good." To tip toward the enduring good. One time I was walking down the street and I was driving down the street and this other person was walking down the street. And I thought I recognized her, but I wasn't really sure. And all of a sudden she lit up. She started waving and jumping up and down. Hi, hi, hi. I thought, well, there's nobody else driving by this person but me. So maybe I do know this person. So I started waving. Hi, how you doing? Yay. And I realized as I drove by, I don't know who that was. And she was probably waving at who she thought I was. But you know what? That one action that this stranger took, potential friend took, felt really great. And it made me laugh. And it made me understand that, hey, I don't even need to know the person to feel that love in action. And I can actually do this for other people too. So, how the heck do we do this? How do we illustrate love in action in our own lives? Well, here are a few examples to consider for yourself. One is talk less, listen more. Well, today I'm talking a lot because that's what I'm here to do. But in my everyday life, if I talk less and listen more, perhaps I can understand a little bit more of where that person's coming from. Serve one another. How do we do that? This is going to look different for all of us. Sometimes it's literally serving food to people in a food line. You know, Just Food, the organization here in Lawrence, Kansas, has been serving people for a long time, and all of those lines of people have increased and gotten more and more as our worldwide pandemic has washed over this entire planet. And yet they continue to serve. Be patient with one another. This is a big one. Be patient. Not always easy. Sometimes we're in a hurry. Sometimes we're feeling tense about something completely unrelated and we interrupt and we jump in and we don't want to be patient. In 1 Corinthians 13:1, it says, "Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It's not proud. It's not rude. It is not self-seeking. It's not easily angered." There's a good one. It's not easily angered. It keeps no records of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. And I believe the truth of who we really are is the indwelling spirit within each and every one of us. We can call it many different things. Today I call it the Christ consciousness. But that doesn't have to be the label that anybody else uses. When I find myself becoming easily angered, or I find myself keeping records of wrongs, that hurts me. That doesn't help me. Love is a powerhouse. Love is a balm. Love in action heals us as well as others. Encourage and build up each other. Well, I was given the beautiful gift of that happening to me a week or so ago. Someone encouraged me and built me up, not knowing that at that time I was having a challenging time. And I think all of us have had different little hums of stress easing across our lives since last winter. Sometimes we feel that, sometimes it comes out in other ways that don't necessarily feel good, and we don't even realize we're doing it. We don't sometimes realize we're holding that tension in our shoulders. We're holding our breath. We're feeling fear. And when someone encourages us and builds us up, or reminds us, as Karen did in the opening prayer, take a deep breath. How good does that feel? Be reminded to yourself and to others. Take that deep breath. Another way that we can be love in action is pray for one another. Pray for somebody. Hold that energy for them. Hold that energy for yourself. Prayer, I believe, is a very strong form of love in action. It's energy coming from our heart center. It's a peaceful consciousness. Sometimes it's peaceful, sometimes it doesn't feel peaceful. But when we pray, not for ourselves saying, "Oh, I want this, I want that, or help me with this," but for somebody else, and hold them in that light when they can't see it for themselves. Stand in that stead. Hold, as they say, the high watch for somebody. And they don't even need to know you're doing it. Sometimes it helps if they know, but sometimes we just silently intercede on their behalf. That's love in action, my friends. So when we say, let's do something, well, what can we do today, right now? What can we do today? How can we be love in action? Well, here's an idea. Wear a mask, not only to protect yourself, but to protect others. Many of us, over Thanksgiving a few days ago, we chose to not gather with our families and friends. Why? Because we love them enough to want to protect them. Wear a mask. It's not easy to be love in action all the time, but we are capable. Sometimes all we've done doesn't appear to have helped, and sometimes all that's left to do is to lift them up in prayer, to step back, to step away, and let them go into the light, and let God or the universe or creator or however you want to say it take the wheel. And we're just there to let them know we love them and hold them in that stead. Being love in action is essential to our spiritual growth. It's a pathway to experiencing God's presence. It's a way, and I love this, to create heaven on earth right now. We don't have to wait. We are the ones we've been waiting for. And I know that's a cliche, but listen, I believe it, and it resonates with me now more than it ever has. We are the ones. If not us, who? If not now, when? If God is love, then guess what? So are we. We're created in God's image. Love in action for others, for ourselves, for our planet is a reflection of that Creator's light and love. So, some things to try this week. Just notice when you see love in action. If you get that little hit, little intuition that says, "Oh, maybe I should do this," just go ahead and do it without any attachment to, gosh, what's going to happen. Once I was driving by in the middle of winter, and it was tax season, and there was a person all dressed up in a Statue of Liberty costume outside in the freezing cold, holding a sign say, "Get your taxes done here." Have you ever seen that? And I thought, whoo, well, A, it's a great costume. B, they must be freezing cold. And I drove by him, did a little wave and moved on, ran my errands. An hour later, I came back and that person was still there, out in the cold. And I thought to myself, I wonder if anybody has thanked them today for doing this, and I wonder if they would appreciate something hot to drink. So I just pulled up and rolled down my window and I said, "Hey, would you like a hot chocolate?" And the guy said, "Yes." So I went and got a hot chocolate. I brought back to him. I didn't know him. I handed it to him and I said, "Hey, I know this is a tough gig, man, but I hope you stay warm and I hope you brought a little light to the day. Thanks for doing this." And he just smiled and sipped on that and lifted his torch a little higher. And that was so simple and easy to do. So be willing to step out of your comfort zone. Surround yourself, and now virtually surround yourself, just like today, with this beautiful community that's here right now, and those who may be watching this after the fact. Surround yourself virtually with those who are love in action. Gosh, I see Kathy, Karen, John. So many of the Unity of Lawrence community is love in action. Do one thing that reflects love in action. Be bold. Go ahead and do it. Let yourself do what you know you could really do if you just gave yourself permission to do it. I believe that we are all in this together. We always have been. What blesses one blesses all. What affects one of us affects all of us. And I'm talking about the entire world. I love this C.S. Lewis quote that says, "Do not waste time bothering whether you, quote, love your neighbor. Act as if you did. Whether you feel it here or not, act as if you did." And we all know this one from Martin Luther King Jr. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Love in action. Only love. So now, I'd like us to prepare to go into meditation. And I'm going to lead us into meditation with some music. And I'd like you to get comfortable wherever you are. And know this: you are not alone. You are with us right now in the sacred time. In this sacred time, in this sacred place, we are not alone. As we walk in grace, we are all walking. We are all walking. We are all just walking each other home. So let's take that deep breath. And let's take another. And let's close our eyes. we remember as we clasp hands with each other and we walk towards that which might invoke fear, but we do it together. And as we get closer to that corner of that house that starts to lift, all together we stand as one. And that fear begins to ease and lower. As together we provide the grounding energy of love. And no matter the winds that may blow around us and the clouds that may appear to roll in, we hold to each other. And we know this is love in action. This is a sacred time when we feel the most fear, we feel the most isolation. We clasp hands and we know we are all walking each other home. And we breathe. And we breathe. And we look down at our hands holding another. And we look to our left. And we look to our right and we see who is there with us. And we say thank you for being love in action with me. And then we look all around us in the big circle, a worldwide circle of hands, clasping each other. Those who look like us, those who don't. Each and every one, a sacred being. And we breathe. And as we bring the circle closer and closer to home, and soon we look to our left and we look to our right, and we see those faces of those we love and who love us. And we say thank you. And as we gradually and slowly ease ourselves back into the room where we are right now, we breathe. we can sense the energy and the presence of those around us. And we virtually hold out our hands to them and can feel that presence reaching out to us. And we know we are not alone. In this sacred time, in this sacred place, we are not alone. As we walk in grace, we are all walking. We are all walking. We are all just walking each other home. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelley Hunt, so much. We so appreciate and love that you are a part of our community. And now I invite you to join me as we hold our gifts to this community in our hands and love in our hearts. Let's affirm together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. While Holly sings, please go online and give via PayPal or write a check and mail it to Unity of Lawrence. Thank you.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am. Letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. It's the love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. It's a love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love.
With our hearts full, we bow our heads in gratitude. We are love in action, and good surrounds each of us. We give thanks that this is so, and we give thanks that we can share in moments like these, and that we are lifted up to go forward in life, being the love in action, going where we go and love and hope and joy can follow us. Abundance surrounds us, and that abundance is love. Thank you. Thank you, God. Amen.
Thank you, God. Amen. You're muted, though. You got to unmute.
One heart at a time, we lift each other up. One heart at a time, we lift each other up. That's right, right here, right now. One day at a time, you know we lift each other up. Ooh, I want to tell you now, one day at a time, we lift each other up. It takes one step at a time to lift each other up. Come on, just take one step at a time to lift each other up. That's right. Oh, we go up and into the dream of how we really want to live. Let's go up and into the world of our own creation. Come on, lift each other up, one vision at a time. Lift each other up. Oh, don't you know it takes one vision at a time to lift each other up. That's right. One thought at a time, we lift each other up. It just takes one thought at a time to lift each other up. Up and into the dream of how we really want to live. Come on, let's go up and into the world of our own creation. Come on, lift each other up, one heart at a time. Come on, one day at a time. Just take one step at a time. It takes one vision, one thought, one heart at a time to lift each other up. You can do it right now. Oh yeah. Come on, lift each other. Lift each other up. All right. Woo.
Thank you, Kelley. That was so inspiring. I love that song. I love singing it with you. As you know, now it's a time for announcements. It's that time of year again, time for board nominations for the new year. Please welcome Kathy Pryor for a short message from your board. Kathy? One day at a time, we lift each other up.
Hello. Thank you all. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out my computer. Oh my gosh, Kelley Hunt, you just made my message for me today. Woo-hoo-hoo. Love in action. Oh, wow. You know, when I was asked to be on the board, I was really nervous about it because I didn't have a lot of spiritual life experience before I started in Unity. I grew up as a Catholic and yada, yada, yada. Here I am. And then I was like, why am I scared? There are all these other board members that know what to do. If there's something I don't know how to do, and when I get scared, I just look at the other board members, because we are really great about supporting each other, and we all have our strengths and weaknesses, and we never leave the house. We are walking across that house, like Kelley said, to hold one side down. Sometimes we're running across the house to hold the side down. And sometimes, to be honest with you, I'm laughing so hard that I'm about to pee my pants. So we have a blast. I love this board. I love this community. The reason why I am a board member is I need you guys. I need the spiritual life. I have to have it. And so it's up to me to make sure that we have a strong organization. I also believe that because I'm a service-oriented person, I'm a giver. And so if you have any inkling at all, if it's calling to you, like Kelley said, if that tiny smidgen is calling to you, please let Kathy Moreland at info at unityoflawrence.org, let her know, because it's okay if you're scared. I'm scared. I don't have all the answers. But as a group, we're holding hands, we're loving each other, we're lifting our spiritual home up every day, and we would love to have you join us. I promise you will not regret it. And thank you all for listening. Kelley, thank you so much for today.
Thank you, Kathy. Join Lisa Allman Baldwin for her online workshop, Holiday Blues, Practical Tools to Deal with Sadness During the Holidays, on December 13th, 2020 from 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. Please go to our website for the workshop and registration details. Mark your calendar for this wonderful opportunity. We send out a weekly e-news bulletin every Monday. If you would like to be added, please email us at info@unityoflawrence.org or leave a message on the office phone at 785-841-1447. Join us next week as Jana Stanfield brings us both the message and the special music. Now it's time to bless our youth and each other. Let's rub our hands together. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity in you. And so it is. Now let's sing the original peace song with Steve Epley.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, children all are we. Let us walk with each other, perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And now the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Namaste. Stay online if you would like to participate in a time of sharing with your Unity community. Thank you.